You are not poor because you don't work hard enough. You are not poor because you don't have talent or opportunities. You are poor because you don't know the 5 fundamental money rules that the wealthy use every day. Look around. Why do some people build businesses, invest, travel, and enjoy life, while others spend years living paycheck to paycheck? The answer is simple. The rich are playing a completely different game. They understand financial laws that 99% of people don't even realize exist. Money is not luck. It's not magic. It's not something that just comes to you. Money is a system. And if you don't understand how it works, you will spend your entire life working for money instead of making money work for you. In this video, I will open your eyes to what you were never taught in school. I will reveal 5 money rules that separate the poor from the wealthy. These rules explain why some people become millionaires while others remain trapped in financial struggle. Watch until the end, because if you don't learn these rules now, you will learn them later, but at a cost. And by then, it might be too late. Money rule number 1. Money is a game. Either you know the rules, or you're a pawn. Imagine you walk into a casino and sit down at a poker table with professional players. They smile at you, welcome you, and act like they're happy to see you. But in reality, they already know you're going to lose, because they know the rules, and you don't. This is exactly how the financial system works. Some people know how to manage money, and others are simply victims of the system. You might think that if you just work hard enough, money will eventually come. That if you do everything right, get a good education, find a stable job, save some money, you will eventually become wealthy. But let me ask you honestly, how many people do you know who have worked hard their entire lives and still never became rich? That's because wealth isn't just about working hard or being smart. It's about understanding the game you're playing. The poor and the rich live in the same world, but they play completely different games. The poor work for money. They trade their time, energy, and health for a paycheck. They work harder, but money always seems to slip through their fingers. The rich make money work for them. They understand that money is not just paper, it's a tool that can generate more money. This is why some people become billionaires while others stay stuck in financial struggle, because the wealthy understand the rules and the poor do not. Let's break down 3 fundamental principles that the rich use to win the financial game. First principle: money is energy, not just paper. What do the US dollar, Bitcoin, and gold have in common? Answer: they only have value because people believe in them. You can't eat money, wear it as clothing, or build a house with it. It only holds value because we collectively agree that it does. If you understand that money is energy, not just a physical object, you will start treating it differently. Money flows toward those who respect it and use it wisely. This is why some people always seem to have money, while others never do. Some people respect money, invest it, and turn it into assets. Others waste every dollar they get with no plan. If you don't control your money, it will flow to those who do. If you don't know how to manage your finances, your money will end up in the hands of those who do. This is why banks and corporations are always richer than the average person. Second principle: time is more valuable than money. Poor people trade their time for money. They work for an hourly wage or a fixed salary, meaning their income is directly tied to how much they work. But think about it. Is your time infinite? Can you work 24/7? The rich understand that time is the most valuable resource. They don't sell their time. They build systems that make money even when they sleep. This is why they start businesses, invest, and create projects that don't require their constant presence. You will never become truly wealthy if your income is tied to the number of hours you work. Because hours are limited, but money is not. Third principle: money loves speed. If you look at millionaires, you'll notice that they make decisions quickly. They test ideas, take risks, fail, and keep moving forward. Poor people spend years thinking before they start. They wait for the perfect moment. They are afraid of losing money, afraid of making mistakes. But here's the reality. The best way to lose money is to never invest it. The rich understand. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. What matters is how many times you try again. Now ask yourself this. Do you want to keep believing that money is just about a paycheck and bills? Or are you ready to see money differently, as energy, as a resource, as a tool that can be used to your advantage? If you choose the second path, you are already starting to win the financial game. Money rule number 2. Never work just for money. Build assets. Let's be honest. You will never become rich by working for a paycheck. Never. A job is important. It gives you stability, income, and a sense of security. But if your only source of income is your job, you are in danger. Imagine you are walking on a tightrope. That tightrope is your paycheck. If you lose your balance, you fall. Now imagine instead that you are walking on a bridge supported by multiple pillars, investments, a side business, real estate, assets. If one pillar collapses, you still stand. Poor people walk the tightrope. The rich build the bridge. The most dangerous financial trap is depending on a single source of income. Many people say, "But I have a stable job. I'm safe." Now answer these questions. Who controls your paycheck, you or your employer? Could you lose your job tomorrow? What happens if you get sick and can't work for months? What happens if AI or automation replaces your job? The reality is, if your only income source depends on someone else, you are always vulnerable. You could lose your job at any time. You could burn out. You could face an emergency. And then you'll realize that you spent your whole life working, but you never built anything. How do the rich think? Wealthy people understand. Never rely on just one paycheck. They build assets, income sources that work for them, even when they are not working. Look at millionaires and billionaires. Elon Musk has Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, Starlink. Jeff Bezos has Amazon, Blue Origin, and investments in hundreds of companies. Warren Buffett owns shares in thousands of profitable corporations. They don't work for money. They build systems that generate money. And this doesn't mean you need a billion-dollar business. It simply means you need income streams that work even while you sleep. What are assets? An asset is something that makes you money, even when you're not actively working on it. Rental properties that bring in rent every month, stocks and bonds that pay dividends, an online business that runs on autopilot, digital products, courses, books that sell automatically. What's the difference between assets and liabilities? Poor people spend money on liabilities, things that take money away. The rich invest money into assets, things that make even more money. Example, you buy an expensive car. Liability, it loses value and you pay for maintenance. You buy a car and rent it out. Asset, it earns money for you. You buy the latest iPhone on credit. Liability, you buy Apple stock and earn on its growth. Asset, one of the most important financial lessons. Poor people work for money. Rich people make money work for them. How do you start building assets? Step 1. Stop thinking that investing is only for the rich. You don't need to be a millionaire to invest. Start with just $10, $50, or $100 a month, and you've already triggered the wealth building process. Step 2. Learn to save and invest. Start small. Make it a rule to set aside at least 10% of your income. Put that money to work. Stocks, bonds, real estate, a business. Step 3. Create something that brings in money automatically. A small business, a YouTube channel, a digital product, a rental property, anything that can generate passive income. Now think about this. How many years have you worked for someone else? How much money have you spent on things that gave you no future value? How many times have you said, "I'll start investing when I make more money"? If you don't start building assets now, you will never escape the financial trap. Do you want to spend your whole life working for money? Or do you want money to work for you? The choice is yours. Money rule number 3. Money works for the one who can control it. Imagine you give someone a shovel and ask them to dig a hole. One person starts digging, gets the job done, and finishes it. The other person just drops the shovel and says, "I don't know how. It's too hard. Let someone else do it." This is how money works. People who don't know how to manage money are always poor, and those who know how to handle it get richer every year. Why do the poor always stay poor? They live by one script. They get paid. They spend it on rent, food, loans. They wait for the next paycheck and repeat the cycle. Money comes into their hands but immediately disappears. They don't manage money. Money manages them. Now let's look at how the rich act. They get paid. They set aside and invest a portion of the income. Only then do they spend on their needs. The difference is huge. The rich don't just spend money. They make it work for them. Let's break down 3 golden money management rules that make the wealthy even wealthier. First rule, pay yourself. First, most people get paid and immediately start paying bills, loans, food, entertainment. And by the end of the month, nothing's left for themselves. Now think about it. If you always pay everyone else first, what's left for you? The rich do the opposite. They pay themselves first. They put away a minimum of 10 to 20% of their income right after they get paid. This money goes into investments, savings, and assets. Only then do they spend on their lifestyle. If you don't pay yourself first, you will always be working for others. Take a piece of paper, write down, "I pay myself first," and start doing it with your very next paycheck. Second rule, always know where your money goes. You might think you're spending your money wisely, but have you ever written down all of your expenses for just 1 month? People who do this are always shocked. They find out that they spend hundreds of dollars on coffee and small things. They pay for subscriptions they never use. They buy things they don't need. The rich track their money. They know where every dollar goes. How to start? Just write down all your expenses for a month. It doesn't matter how much you earn. What matters is how you manage it. Third rule, use the 50-30-20 rule. To manage money, you need a system. One of the best is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for housing, food, transport. 30% for wants, entertainment, travel, gadgets. 20% for investments and savings. Even if you can't invest 20% right now, start with 5% or 10%. The key is to build the habit. Your lifestyle depends on your money mindset. If you want to stop being a slave to money, start managing it. Instead of letting it manage you, you can change your financial destiny right now. Start by paying yourself first. Track where your money goes. Follow a money management system. In 5 years, you will either look back and thank yourself for starting today, or you will regret not making the change sooner. Money. Rule number 4. Your circle. Either makes you rich or keeps you poor. Look at the people around you. Do they talk about opportunities, or do they just complain about life? Do they discuss how to multiply wealth, or do they say wealth is not for them? Here's the harsh truth. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with people who spend money recklessly, live paycheck to paycheck, and don't strive to grow, chances are you'll follow their path. But if you surround yourself with people who think differently, who invest, who grow, who learn, you'll start moving in that direction too. Why do the poor never become rich? Because they listen to the advice of people who are poor themselves. They ask for financial advice from those who have never earned big money. They believe in myths passed down from generation to generation. They fear taking risks because their circle tells them it's dangerous. How do the rich think? They understand the power of their environment. They read books from successful people. They seek mentors and examples to emulate. They try to surround themselves with people who have achieved success. You might say, "But I don't have rich friends." No problem. You have access to information. Read books by billionaires like Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, Grant Cardone. Watch interviews and analyses of successful people. Start going to places where ambitious people gather. Courses, seminars, conferences. Your life will change when your environment changes. When you're surrounded by those who strive for growth, you'll grow too. But if you're stuck with those who live in constant scarcity, fear change, and never move forward, you'll be dragged down with them. What should you do right now? Look at your circle. Who lifts you up and who holds you back? Find at least one person who thinks differently than most. Start absorbing knowledge from the rich through books, courses, videos. Your life is shaped by the people around you. Surround yourself with those who push you to be better, and you will become better. Money. Rule number 5. Your beliefs. Either make you rich or keep you poor. You can work 16 hours a day. You can earn $10,000 a month. You can know all the rules of investing. But if false beliefs about money are lurking in your mind, you will always return to square one. Why? Because wealth starts in the mind. Money is always attracted to those who understand it and respect it. But poverty is not just the lack of money. It's a mindset that keeps you from holding on to and growing it. What beliefs keep people poor? Money is evil. To get rich, you have to be a genius or a fraud. I wasn't made for wealth. Rich people are just born into the right families. It's better to be poor and honest. Have you heard those kinds of phrases? Maybe your parents, teachers, or friends have said them to you. But now answer this question. If you believe money is evil, how can you attract it into your life? If you think wealth is only for the chosen few, how can you ever become wealthy? If you believe money comes only through dishonesty, won't you subconsciously avoid it? This is how the rich think. Money is a tool that allows me to do more. Wealth is a skill that can be developed. The more value I create, the more money comes into my life. That's why the rich don't just get rich. They get richer because their thinking is tuned for growth, not limitations. How to change your beliefs about money. Step 1. Replace negative beliefs with positive ones. Every time you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never get rich," replace it with, "I am learning to manage money, and it is coming into my life." It sounds simple, but it really works. Step 2. Surround yourself with people who have already achieved success. You will begin to adopt their mindset, seeing the world through their eyes. Step 3. Take action, even when fear says no. Fear is a signal that you're stepping into new territory. If you're scared to invest, start a business, or try something new, that's a sign you are growing. Now think about your future. You can leave things as they are, or you can make the decision right now to change your life. You've just received knowledge that 99% of people will never understand. Now you know the 5 money rules that determine whether you'll be rich or stay poor. But here's the key question. What will you do with this knowledge? You can simply close this video and say, "That was cool." But in a week, you'll be right back where you started. Right back in the same habits, the same financial reality. Or you can say, "That's it. From today, I'm changing my life. I'm taking control of my finances, and I won't let money control me. I'm breaking free from this cycle, even if no one believes in me." Because wealth is not a coincidence. It's a choice. The choice to stop fearing. The choice to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The choice to stop playing by the rules of the poor. Everything the millionaires and billionaires have is knowledge, strategy, and action. They didn't wait for their lives to change. They started changing them themselves. Now it's your turn. Write in the comments, "I choose financial freedom." Like the video if it gave you insights that no one has ever explained to you before. And if we hit 5,000 likes, I'll release a video. Why 90% of people live paycheck to paycheck. Mistakes that kill your finances. Your life is in your hands. Start now. And remember, whether you think you can or you think you can't. You're right. Henry Ford.